Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So this is kind of a long one, but I hope you're going to stick with me till the end because it will be worth it. Trust me. I have videos, I have screenshots to share with you, and you're just not going to believe this lunacy. So QAnon is a liberal who wanted to show the world how crazy the right really is and that they'll believe anything, at least a good majority of them. Now, this is not actually fact or proven yet. This is a theory that I've been turning over in my mind for quite a while now. What if this was the ultimate punk of a lifetime? What if the person behind QAnon is actually a lefty who is just trying to play the right? Think about it. What if the person or people behind QAnon were just trying to keep everybody on the right spinning their wheels, and they wanted to out them and prove that they're people who don't fact check or who literally will believe in anything, regardless of how far-fetched it seems? Some, even on the left, tried to compare it to Russiagate and say, oh, the left has their own conspiracies. The fact is, our 17 intelligence agencies concurred and put out a massive report stating that Russia played an outsized role in the 2016 election. They even came out and admitted that there was evidence showing that some voting machines were hacked. Now, they never confirmed that any votes had been changed, but to believe that Russia was somehow interested in and involved with Trump was nowhere near as far-fetched as these fairy tales told by QAnon and people like Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell. I mean, Trump's own children said on camera and in interviews that they get a lot of funding from Russia, that Russia bankrolls a lot of his projects. So yeah, people made informed assessments based on that information, but this QAnon stuff came out of nowhere. And not once in the past few years did any of these QAnon predictions come to pass. This letter of the alphabet promised followers that Trump was being protected by the military. Q promised them that baby-eating Democrats like Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi were going to be in handcuffs before the end of Trump's first term. They were promised beyond all logic that Trump was going to be sworn in and he would be the 46th president as of today. And this is something that Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell also declared as fact. Even after Trump gave his hostage speech like a week ago, conceding that there would be a smooth transition of power and a new administration, the MAGA crowd had one of two distinct reactions. The first was sheer rage. There was a whole group of people that just turned on him and said Trump lied. He said he would never concede. We attacked the Capitol for nothing. And then there was another group, there was a second group that had a complete break with reality. This second group of people actually came up with the most outrageous explanations as to why he didn't actually concede and how this was all code for his total government takeover that was coming soon, because Q said. So take a look at some of these Parler posts. This is a thread of replies. I believe it was replies to Laura Ingraham from Fox News, but I'm not 100%. It could have been a different Laura. If you're on the podcast, I'm going to read to you what they say. The first person writes, he didn't concede, and there will be a new admin. He needs a new vice pres, right? There it is. He will be celebrating 4 more years on the 20th. The next person says, you don't listen very well, do you? He did not concede. What he said was there would be a smooth transition to a new administration. Didn't hear Biden in there. Another one says, you have misread or misheard what he said, Laura. Deaf, not a concession speech, exclamation point. And this went on and on. There were like hundreds or thousands of people angrily telling her how stupid she is and how Trump was sending coded messages. Oy vey, Michigana. Seriously, these people are nuts. Even Trump was probably like,
do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
How do you get through to these people? How do you get through to people who are so completely brainwashed and believe in these crazy conspiracies? And then after that, there were new conspiracy theories that launched almost immediately. So here's a screenshot of someone trying desperately to find meaning in Trump's words and the time in which he made the statements. So for those on the podcast, I'm going to do my best to explain this insanity. There are various pictures of Trump giving his speech, and next to each of the screenshots of him giving that speech, there's text with certain phrases circled or underlined. So the first one next to his image says, those who engaged in acts of violence or destruction, then in parentheses it says CIA handled Antifa agents. You do not represent our country and you will pay. And you will pay is in all caps and it's circled. They appear to be trying to say that Trump was actually referring to Antifa, that it was Antifa who broke into the Capitol, and that they are the ones who don't represent the country. They're the ones that are going to pay. The next section down mentions 2 timestamps from the video, 1 minute, 28 seconds, and 1 minute, 45 seconds. Then below it, it reads, Q post 128 equals CIA, hear, pray. Then the next one says Q post 146 equals warning, direct attack today by CIA. Okay, first of all, the timestamp doesn't even match up with this mythical Q post. and when was there a supposed attack by the CIA? I've never heard of that. And then the final image in this post states, new vice president equals new administration. This is all underlined. Then underneath it, it reads, smoothly, orderly, and seamlessly inaugurated on January 20 by the same president. So first of all, I mean, that sentence makes no sense, but these aren't the sharpest tools in the shed, so can we really expect it to? And this is the rantings of a lunatic. And then at the very bottom of this post, they quote one section of Trump's speech, and then they provide their interpretation. They interpret it all for the rest of us who can't read his coded messages. So it says, he kindly addresses our exact emotional state, but wants us to know the magnificent cabal-free road ahead has only just started. When he says defeating the pandemic, he means the long-standing influence their corruption has had on our society. We are in the final stage of an undeclared civil war, and our lion-hearted commander-in-chief is about to seal the final death blow. So they end the post with the QAnon abbreviation for where we go one, we go all. You may have seen a lot of his supporters with those initials on their clothing and elsewhere. So, but this wasn't the only new conspiracy theory that popped up recently. There were tons of MAGA supporters posting about how the Italians stole the election. So it went from Venezuela to Germany to, I know there was another country in there somewhere. I think it was Spain. And then now it's Italy. So this whole thing has jumped all over the globe, but this is somehow tied to Obama stealing $400 million in taxpayer money. That's their theory. So these conspiracy theories are crazy. These are like those comedy scenes where you see people with the board and they've got the string going all over the place and none of it makes sense. It just bounces all around. It reminds me of this, actually.
Certain questions get answered, others spring up. The mind plays tricks on you, you play tricks back. It's like you're unraveling a big cable knit sweater that someone keeps knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting Knitting!
So on your screen right now, you can see one Parler post about this. They started calling it Italygate. Here's another Parler post stating that they have an affidavit signed by an Italian contractor, and they worked with someone at the US Embassy in Italy to steal the election. But it gets better. This next one is pure comedy gold. I don't know if you guys have been following this. With everything going on in the US, it probably escaped your awareness because it's been such a shit show over here. But a couple of countries, including Italy, recently experienced blackouts. I haven't had the opportunity yet to look into it and see if they figured out the source of these blackouts, but they were pretty widespread, and these conspiracy nuts just seized on these outages and they just took it and ran with it. So this woman that you see on your screen named Lenka Koloma, she's tweeted out or posted quite a bit. I'm not sure where this screenshot came from. I found it on Twitter, but I think it was taken from another more right-wing site. But she's posted quite a bit about Trump and QAnon conspiracies. So for those on the podcast, here's what her post says. Right now, you don't have a president. Military took over. President Trump gave the okay. The military is arresting top politicians involved in treason and other crimes. Expect social media to go down and be in a few days of darkness. Make sure you have your EBS, emergency broadcast system, enabled by turning off auto update on your iPhone. Have food and water for a few days. Stay in contact with your community and neighbors. So they absolutely believed that as of today, as of the inauguration, our country was going to go dark. Media was going to get shut down. Everything was going to go dark, including our lights. And we were going to see just mass arrests of Democrats, of these baby-eating pedophiles being arrested. But that's not even the best one. This next one absolutely takes first prize in the contest of who's more crazy. So for those on the podcast, this was posted on January 13th, so 1 week after that failed attempted coup at the Capitol. And it reads, quote, Joe Biden has been arrested. The deep state is in disarray and has struck a deal with the Trump administration. There will be an experimental surgery that it will exchange the faces of Biden and Trump. So when you watch Biden's inauguration, which is in quotes, you will really be watching Trump being sworn in for a second term. And when you are watching the Trump trials, that is really Biden paying for his crimes. So it goes on for another paragraph, but you get the point. This is absolute, complete, and utter insanity. Do these people not think through their conspiracy theories like, oh, hey, in 1 week, we'll be seeing the inauguration on TV. And how exactly does Trump plan to lose like 150 pounds in 1 week before the inauguration? Because I don't know if anyone noticed, but today a slender guy named Biden was sworn in as president. At least he had Biden's face. Da-da! Dun, 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 dun! Oh my God. And then, of course, not only was Trump not sworn in for another 4-year term, but he flew away in shame. Even Mike Pence, even his own VP, and other high-profile members of his own party, Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, they all refused to attend his departure. That's how much they want him gone. And in fact, Trump sent out like hundreds of invitations to this big going away event. And he even sent them to people who hate him. Anthony Scaramucci received one. Few people accepted this invitation, according to White House staff. Hardly anyone showed up. The military was nowhere to be found. But even as Biden put his hand on the Bible today to swear his oath, some QAnon believers still weren't giving up hope. So they gathered today on various platforms like Gab and Telegram in QAnon groups. And they kind of turned into huge watch parties. So they were all watching and then commenting to each other as everything was going down. They were like desperately anticipating the finale where these satanic pedophile Democrats would be rounded up and executed for the world to see, because of course that's what a letter of the alphabet told them. So this was going to be the Clintons and Obama and all these different people. And then Trump was going to come in and take over and remain the leader of the United States. But within minutes, their little hearts were shattered. The bachelor handed the rose to a different bachelorette. So they started freaking out. They were posting things like, nothing fucking happened. So now we have proof Q was total bullshit. Have we been duped? You played us all. How could we believe this for so long? Are we all idiots? So let me be the first to answer that question. Yes. Yes, you really are. You really are all idiots. If you believed that a letter of the alphabet, someone that you've never seen, was giving you true information about what was going to happen, and for years you believed, even though nothing had ever come true, yes, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. One Trump supporter posted on social media, quote, I don't think this is supposed to happen. How long does it take the Fed to run up the stairs and arrest him? Another one wrote, quote, Q also said noon. I will start kicking people for their attitudes. We are patriots. You stand here and hold the line with us, or you can leave. Your choice. And now it seems that their mythical creature, Q, is moving the goalposts to keep them hooked just a little bit longer. Got to sell more of those Q shirts and Q stickers and all that. So here's a post from one QAnon follower from today saying, quote, Randall, we are all frustrated, but it has also already been said that it could be until March before things take shape. Then another one moved the goalpost as well, saying, quote, don't worry about what happens at 12 p.m. Watch what happens after that. Dun, dun, dun. Then there's this one. Oh, poor luxury decor Deb. She's in this for the long haul. I mean, she's got at least another year before she lets it go. Today she wrote, quote, has everyone forgotten military in control with Insurrection Act until January 2022? Just because a video of a staged event was shown on network TV to the ones not awake doesn't change a thing. The narrative will be spun, but the military is still in control. Hashtag Biden, never be my president. Well, first of all, Deb, that hashtag makes no sense. But as we've heard on the left for 4 years now, sorry, but he's your president too. Facts don't care about your feelings, Deb, haven't you heard? So others are now claiming that Biden is the one who's going to arrest the baby-eating cult members in the Democratic Party. This is now the newest of these conspiracy theories. It actually wasn't Trump. Trump was putting Biden in place to do it for some reason. So, because apparently he really wanted to get to those lawsuits against him. He really wants to be able to go to court and spend years and years paying out tons of money and owing all that money to his debtors, to Deutsche Bank and others. You know, he didn't want to stick around and do it himself. So Biden is the one now. So one person wrote, quote, "The more I think about it, I do think it's very possible that Biden will be the one who pulls the trigger." Oh my gosh. But then there were some who just had complete meltdowns. I believe this woman's photo, I'm going to show you a video, but I think the photo of this woman may be the left's version of that woman who was shown crying when Trump won. She had the pink pussy hat on. MAGA has been using it for 4 years to mock liberals. It's in tons of memes about making the libs cry and liberal meltdown. So take a look at this woman.
Say, Trump, if you see this, please save us. I don't even see our American flag anymore. Biden's talking with some kind of crazy flag. This is America. This is our land. Please, President Trump. Please, please, I hope you have a plan. God, please save us. Save us from the devil, please. Y'all, I'm about to have a panic attack. This is our country. Our country. This is awful. God, please save us, please.
Dear God in heaven. So luckily, it appears that at least some of the MAGA folks are intelligent enough to see the scam for what it is and what it was. Here's another video to maybe give you a little bit of hope. It's a QAnon follower who posted on TikTok, and she seems to be coming to the realization that she got played.
So, who else is feeling just a little silly? Just a little, like went too far down the rabbit hole. Now I'm back out again. And if nothing happens on the 20th, how many of you are going to feel stupid as hell? I can't do it anymore. And who the fuck is Q? Who is it? Who is this person? Because none of it has come true. And I was just thinking, like, what if this person knows that none of this stuff is true and they're just messing with people, like getting inside their heads? I thought something would happen today in Trump's speech. Nothing.
And this woman isn't the only one. Jared Holt of Right Wing Watch pointed out chats that took place in a QAnon group as Biden was being sworn in. One person posted, quote, "Well, I'm the laughing stock of my family now. Awesome." Another person wrote, quote, "OMG, none of this was real." Yeah, we tried to tell you that. You just told us that we were crazy, though, that we're crazy libs. We've been brainwashed by mainstream media. We just weren't woke like you were. So, I just have to wonder, are a large majority finally going to accept the truth? Or are they just going to continue to come up with, propagate and create these new conspiracies to explain the failure of the previous conspiracy? And even if they do, some of these people who seem like they kind of finally get it and say, oh my God, this was all a lie. What truth is it that they accept? Do they finally realize that all of it was a hoax? Or do they still believe that Democrats are baby-killing satanic beings who drink their brain fluid? And no, I'm not joking. That's literally what QAnon was telling them. So do they continue to believe that, but then give up the hope that Trump was the one who was supposed to stop it? Like that woman said, yeah, help our country. We need help if that's the case. Personally, I'm hoping for an Oprah-style reveal, I'm hoping that the person or people behind QAnon will come out. I'm hoping that they'll announce in Oprah style that you got played and you got played. You all got played. I mean, that would be so awesome, wouldn't it? I mean, they would have a bounty on their head, though. These people would be after them. It would get ugly. So I doubt that's going to happen. I don't think this person or people are ever going to come forward and out themselves. Anyway, guys, if I hear more, I will let you know. But yeah, just, boy, some Schadenfreude today. All right. As always, like, share, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.
Yeah.